Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, coming live from Fred Heart, chilling with God. And that's you, and that's me, and hope everything's good, all will be. So I was all ready to go to court, but dumb me, I guess I have to erase Zoom and then re-download the app. So I'm starting to panic about 5 minutes past 10. I'm calling the courthouse. She's telling me to call the Zoom line. Call the Zoom line, it's still saying, this meeting is not available. This meeting does not exist. So I had to erase the app. So that's cool. I was half hour late. Not good. Not good, by the way, folks. So now court's postponed again. I don't even know what court is what. They just were stacking a bunch of stuff up or something. I don't even know. We never got the warrant, like I said. I had the poop beat out of me. Poisoned at the hospital. Or drugged. Excuse me, at the jail. They mishandled me, and then I would refuse, whatever too. So it's just kind of how our relationship went there for a couple weeks. And then a week at the hospital. So she wasn't too mad at me. I think my husband was able to call the lawyer. I tried calling the lawyer. Everything's fine. I'm not in jail yet. Technically, if they wanted to be a jerk today, they could have been. So they weren't. So let's give Judge Eicher a pat on the back. I just have a few messages that I feel are important. First, I am giving a shout out to Mr. Ali. I am feeling a slight concern. I got the legal form, the complaint form, but what is really that? I don't know. Are you okay? I left a phone message that they did find the body cam, but if I'm still having to go to court, that means the important part of seeing me assaulted is not on film. And then there's the false reports that I was resisting arrest. And so this is really messy in like a weird way. And now court's all the way till the beginning of March. If we wait long enough, the PPO's from June or July. So we're a year into that. It's all just a stupid distraction. Because I couldn't just hide in my house for 2 years. God, I should have filmed so much more than I did. I think my favorite was when he hired the girl here that lived with them, or whatever the deal is. She's some sort of worker. She kept coming over to the opening, so I'd be out with the dogs, gardening or whatever. And she'd do this thing where she'd come in and she'd do like a pose and bend over several times. She had a nice ass, by the way. She looks a little young, Got to keep them at least in the late 20s, Well, shit, I'm 50, so let's keep it 40s. Okay. So, that was annoying. That was really annoying. And it always amped up when probably the female was in heat. And then she would do this routine where it's the closest part to our front. So they have all the road frontage, and then they have the back. So the back is open on that side. That we knew this could have maybe been a little bit complicated, but not when the neighbor's making it more complicated. But anyway, she would come and she'd do like these poses and then bend over real big, and it was just really bizarro. Like, I kind of felt like I was watching like a really light rated type of like not a striptease really. Just like a bend over session. It was really weird. And then she'd do like a pose. But by then, she already had my dogs all riled because she had the female in heat. I always knew like around, okay, it's maybe the dog's in heat because Hip and Poe acting a little different. So I'd have to be on more patrol, to get them in more periodically. Like, for instance, when you go out of your house and then the prostitute is bending over by the fence and stuff. Anyhow, long story short, it's been real out here, I must say. So now this is a message from my spirit, and you can take it or leave it. Click off or do whatever it is you need to do. Very soon, no dates involved, but I would say we're early portion of one of God's extra graces, so to speak. Doesn't mean things aren't still going to be falling apart and blowing up and excessive earthquakes and fires and implemental weather. The grace. There's still a lot of hiding going on in a lot of different realms, legally speaking, and in regards to victims of circumstance in many regions of the world. There is going to be where God had allowed this, okay, for an extended amount of time. I'm going back to even the federal deals with land rights to Native Americans. I've discussed this so many times. It's exhausting. So, God gave these like hundreds of years, and he just kept letting the government get more evil and cover-ups. Nobody even following close to the commandments. And I don't know if you know this, but in most courthouses, the commandments are somewhere. One of the main things God hates, see, because all sins are not equal, by the way. And there are things that Creator God detests, or we can say tolerates less than other things. Obviously, he wants all of us sin-free, but as humans tend to think more in a very straight line mentality, like it's all just this one thing. No, it isn't. Because the groundwork of certain sins is rooted in this certain behavior. There's about 3 main ones. I may mess up. I may forget one. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to focus on just the one. For some reason, I remember the others. Great. Because I have something wrong with my throat, and I'm laying down. This is getting a little weird. Between the silent bomb explosion, the gunshot to the head, and then this last assault in the last 4 years, plus the illegal use of devices on Brentwood Street in Monroe, Michigan, through Mr. Charles Abel Hoyt and Carolyn England, Dave Nolan with an N, John Voss, another old guy, I think he passed away. A couple houses on the back. It's a psychotic lunatic neighborhood, by the way. If you're not in the club, you're not a member of at least the Freemasons, and do not mention if you have any ethnic background, okay? They'll tolerate it within reason. They don't have a rhyme or reason. So just don't even move in that neighborhood. It's off of Albin, unless you're a Freemason and you like to terrorize people. They might then invite you in. Okay, so I'm going to try to tilt this way. So one of the bedrocks that God deplores, by the way, is covering evil. Especially if it is upon a vulnerable type of population. Children. Whew. You want to see that like red, the, light at the top of the thermometer or whatever, ready to explode. So we have thousands of years of evil still being covered and not rightfully dealt with. Must I do the list? Must I? Like I said, this town, Monroe, Michigan, is a very huge pub of covering truth. They have more corruption in the roots of this small town to probably make anyone scared. And it hasn't stopped. They just changed the methods. It involves children and minors, hidden abortions, human trafficking, lots of body bagging, and all kinds of transports. Rape statistics are hidden. Rapes are not even documented. If you visit the hospital works with the jail, and the jail and the hospital work with the courts. Good luck if you ever tried to get justice served, or if you even tried to get protected if you're in a line of the groups or family who have had incest, or they know higher ups that are sick and in organized crime. You will not get help in this town. You will get labeled. God forbid you worked in the government like I did briefly at the juvenile center, and what I heard and what I saw, and the pleading of the young youth, that the old guys working in there at that time wouldn't have been that old, raping them. Now, I hate to keep having to tell these stories, but the courts aren't treating us fairly again. And they're postponing courts. The body cam should have been the first thing on the table if you're accusing me of resisting arrest or whatever. So, we need to get that straightened out, right? And then I think to myself, I'm seasoned with the county with their false reports and labels, working hand in hand with numerous people to cover their tracks. How many more like this still? So, one word of warning. Do not report human trafficking to this county. You report it out of network, out of district. Do not call your local police. You call out of network. Take a chance with the FBI call, but it's questionable. They will insist you call the county you're in. Even if you state the county refuses to help and you have proof of human trafficking and abuse, terrorization, vandalization of properties, and ganging up by organized crime, they may still refuse your calls. Your best bet, but it's no guarantee, is to dig yourself as far as you have to dig within the Civil Rights Department, but please show them as much evidence as you possibly can. If they're immediately resistant, try to beg a little bit. Say, please, please, you need to look at this county. I've been seeing this my whole life, and it's actually gotten worse for me. Don't give up fully. Don't push too hard. Ultimately, you must follow God, Creator, on how you should go about the reporting. Social media platforms are very helpful. You'd be shocked at how many times people can run into one another from and close to the same area or close to the same situation going on actually simultaneously while it's going on or happening to you. So, for many years now, and it has accelerated, I'd say the last 20, hard work, like people from Sinead O'Connor, before they fried her brain, a couple other key characters that pushed for the uncovering and exposure of the abuse in certain churches. I'll keep it at that. And the list goes on and on. These people that were courageous enough to have their lives affected or to be affected remotely, it is a thing, is a military-grade attack. It is notoriously done to whistleblowers and those who have a heart for victims, especially child abuse victims. Incest survivors, and those sexually abused or exploited in the church and the schools. I don't expect to ever see anything ever fixed. They keep heaping more crap at us, and lies and false reports, and group efforts. So, this is my prayer, is those that may be led or get connected to me somehow. If you were a victim in Monroe County, Michigan, I say please call Civil Rights Hassani Ali's line. I'll do my best to write the numbers in the description down below. However, that can sometimes create a flag for some reason. So, here I am hesitating again. Everything is going to backfire on the evil. Many, many things will be exposed at a more rapid rate this year. At the same time, the earth and the people will be wailing more, stressed more, and just simply to keep that internal peace, even if the earth is shaking around you, will be difficult. Things have already escalated. However, those that have been working tirelessly for decades on end to hide evil within their towns and court systems and neighborhoods, and targeted certain key individuals for their entire lives, those people that have worked tirelessly at covering evil through courts and churches and community are being exposed. Everything, and I mean everything under the sun, is being exposed, and everything you attempted to do to the individuals you targeted will backfire. Your targets, the voices that know what is going on and what has happened, and many are victims of predators in their communities. They may not survive. They have been harmed too many times, and they still have hits out on their heads. But mark my words as I speak right now, for my Creator God, and He is the only one I serve. I was in much stress today to not be able to get to court on time. It was very upsetting. I did not understand that I had to erase the app and reapply the app. I called who I could in between trying to go back to court. Do not disrespect the court system in the sense like it would appear that I did when I did not. I had technological difficulties and I cannot drive a car. But what I am saying right now is from this point forward until the end of the year and until the Lord's return for final judgment, whenever that year or millennial or decade may be. Everything, and I mean everything, is backfiring. everyone that was involved in cover-ups in every county of Monroe, Michigan, every town, every county, every city, every spot in the state of Michigan, God is going to expose you, and everything that you have covered is going to be backfiring on the leaders. Those that expose will still be harmed. We will still be falsely accused, and we will still continue to go the rampant or the rate that we're going in. Meaning, we are not safe. But this is what I do have to say, is the states that have been covering, and gotten away with a lot, he is done. He is done. And that is going to backfire. And all I see is you scrambling. Like, say you see a person at a desk and they're just scrambling to put the papers together to make sense of all the lies. But you can't take a bunch of false reports and false labels of people, and you can't put them on a table, and you can't start to make sense of it. What you've made is a huge mess. And you've actually heaped more hellfires, not only on your head, but those that work for you, and those that work under them, and those within your community. You have literally put them into damnation because of running your network, your company, your business, your town, your government, your house, your family, everything. It is being exposed, and you will look like a scrambling mess. And it will be embarrassing on all sides of the spectrum. You will feel so much shame, you will not know what to do. You will all of a sudden have all what you would call a wake-up call. And you're going to look down at all the lies that you have participated in, and all the cover-ups to cover police and doctors and medical and judges and teachers and ministers and lawyers. And you are going to feel so much shame that you will feel like you keep having to make sure that you have your clothes on. Because the shame, and that you're not in the most crowded stage with no clothes on while everyone is laughing and hammering away at you. No longer will it be the opposite of the communities of gang stalking, hurting other people. When I mean gang, I mean neighborhoods. Neighborhoods are paid to harass the whistleblowers. They're paid to harass anyone that has any sense about them whatsoever. It is set up. It goes on forever. It affects the children and the children of those children. The solution? Repent and correct your errors and fix it. Otherwise, you won't be able to sleep right. And you're going to have flashes of people in your mind that you put away or you falsely accused, and you won't be able to sleep. You'll be woke up with these people's faces in your mind. These people that you wrongfully accuse, these people that you have even maybe in some instances slammed away in prison for life, that you had cover other crimes and corruption, these people that you victimize over and over and over again, you will have flashes of these faces till the days you die. God will not release the anguish of what you did to the wrong people to protect the wrong people. So what you did to the innocent, you are going to be tormented from all those that you victimize and those that you did not right the wrong with. You will think that it's those people tormenting you, or you will think that it's this other thing, when in actuality, these people torment your mind because you were evil. I have to go. My husband's calling on lunch.